Hello, I'm John Joe and welcome to Line War. Today we have Zloygiz versus SE2. SE2 is actually up in the corner, which is not always a good place to start, being restricted by the borders. So SE2 is going for 2 barracks and a factory. Then he's setting up his lines to expand down this way. I do think in this case it might actually be good because of the way the map is laid out. So he's going to get access to that area and this area at the same time. By being there, it's kind of the centre of the landmass because of the way the map's sort of placed out. One big river going through the middle of it. Zloygiz, on the other hand, is in the middle of this key area, which I'd say is where I would probably pick to start. That or there, to be fair. But he's picked the eco location rather than territory by the looks of it. I don't know if he's going to go for eco straight away, but he's got 3 barracks and 2 factories on the ground already. And he's going to be moving this way. He might end up spotting SE2. But he's not going directly towards him right now. SE2 is just spreading out quite evenly across the map. And he's built 2 more barracks as well, so saving some cash for later. And he's just built another barracks, I think. And these factories, it looks like he's producing artillery from them. There's no tank rushes going on or anything like that. It's just going to be a nice standard game, I think. It looks like Zloygiz set up most of his lines going across the map already. I think he's expecting the enemy to be this way with one line going that way instead. But I don't think he's expecting the enemy to be up here in the corner. They are already quite close to each other. Maybe he is. I think he's going to send something over to this energy well. I think he wants to capture the energy early. And that's probably what's going to end up accidentally giving SE2 away. Let's have a look from Zloygiz's side, because I think he's going to spot first. He's got a lot of units in one area, which increases his range. Actually, no, SE2 spots him. The SE2 knows where Zloygiz is right now. And he does seem to be changing some things up. He's sending his artillery directly towards this landmass here, and he can see the units there. Zloygiz has now spotted the enemy. So if he is paying attention, he could see this already, and he doesn't seem to be reacting yet. Unless adding an extra line there is his reaction. He's building another factory there as well, so that's going to be extra artillery for him. He's spotted it. He's taking this line off now, so he's still going to go ahead for that energy well, and he's going up through the mountains to do it instead. SE2 has spotted the units there, and he's just going to carry on going towards them. He's taken them off the flag commands though, just so they can get there faster, I guess, but he wouldn't have mattered either way, because when they get here, they're still going to take over this territory. They are going to chase them through the mountains. But down here, it looks like they are going to engage very soon in their larger armies. Unfortunately for SE2, he doesn't really have anywhere else to go, so some of these units are going to have to go down this way so he can continue to expand. Otherwise, he's just going to have to plow through Zloygiz. Zloygiz does have this section of the map to fall back on if he stops getting any expanse going on this way. Also, he could cross the water, which is something SE2 can't really do. The artillery for SE2 are on the front lines, so they're going to be doing a bit better for him, but there is a gap and the infantry are going straight in for those artillery there. Up in the north, I think Zloygiz did lose the units. No, he's got one left. One last random man over there. Going for that energy well, just hoping to find one there, I think. Expecting to see some energy production, and he hasn't. But either way, that is still a good scout on the enemy's base. Unfortunately, Zloygiz has been caught in, like, some form of curved attack here. And these units are going to stay in the forest there, capturing the land. And Zloygiz doesn't seem to have done anything else. He's left this man over here just randomly doing nothing. Gonna stand in the mountains. I think he is moving actually. Either way. Don't think Zloygiz has changed much. He's just going to continue putting his units this way. He's going to bring his artillery into a circle here. And that's going to allow them to build up in numbers a bit better. For when these units actually come in to attack them instead. And he's putting them in the forest. In the forest they'll be stealthed from the enemy, but I think they're a bit too close to worry about that anyway. It does give him a bit of concern about the amount of numbers that could be in the forest there. But as these units get closer, their accumulative vision will start spotting these units. And SE2 doesn't seem to worry too much about the expanse down here getting those territories. Instead, he's going straight across the top of the map, taking away territories that Zloygiz could possibly have already had. And they're getting dangerously close to Zloygiz space already. Those artillery are building up in numbers in the forest, but SE2 can see them. Yeah, I think he can see all of those right now. From SE2's side of things, he can see the factories already, so he can see some vulnerability now. I think he's just going to carry on capturing the territories for a while. He's building up some artillery at his main base. There is still that one random guy in the back coming down towards that factory there. But it looks like SE2's got that, and he's going to deal with him pretty quickly. Is Zloygiz actually trying to control that one? He's just trying to capture some territory, but he gave up. I don't know if that guy's actually going to be able to do much over there. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Either way, he's setting up a line of units over here in the forest. They're going to come out now to defend the factories. I think that having the south there might be a bit... It's not going to help that much because we've got these units coming in already. They're going to get into this area early. You definitely needed to have a defense over here to protect this instead. The stealth isn't that much of an advantage. SE2 is going to send some units going this way instead. I think they're all going to end up going that way, so they're on a high move command there, high priority move command. Now that factory nearly got destroyed, but SE2 just wasn't willing to risk losing these units. So maybe the stealth did manage to push him away. A little surprise attack, an ambush. I probably would have waited till I destroyed the factory, as it was so close to being destroyed already. You can see the damage on it. And then sent them away, and that way you've at least got some reward for your action there. But the artillery is pushing through the forest over here. That attack is leaving this area vulnerable to attack. And it looks like Zloygiz is intent on chasing those away. Have a quick look at the eco. So Zloygiz currently is on 400 eco right now, and that's partly because he's focused on expanding further away. He hasn't got many units dedicated to it. He could have been expanding in this area, and instead SE2 has taken that area and is on 450. Both of them have slowed each other down quite a bit, but they do have their own map to expand to now. Their own side of the map. But SE2 isn't really worried about those borders. He's still going to try and take some territory over this way. We're having a bit of an artillery numbers battle here. So we've got 5 here, but there's only 2 on the front line, and these 4 artillery are going to destroy these 2 really fast. Meaning they could probably destroy the 5 in total easily. We've got more reinforcements coming in as well, so I think Zloygiz is going to win that artillery fight in the long run. But SE2 is building another factory over here, so that should increase his artillery numbers. Still trying to expand into different areas. And instead, Zloygiz has set up a defensive line here, hoping the enemy would forget about these units, and they have just literally walked into the defences here. Even though Zloygiz is taking some damage, he is slowing them down, and he's taking better damage than the enemy is. So he's just really trying to stop them, but SE2's idea there isn't necessarily about trying to win the numbers battle here. Instead, it's trying to capture some territory in the back of Zloygiz's base that he can attack from 2 different angles. That is what I think his objective is there. And unfortunately for SE2, we've got a lot of artillery heading his way, and there's not a lot on the front line here. It might be wise to just pull these back, so they got these ones to help out as well. But unfortunately, it's a little too late now, as they're going to have to undeploy if they wanted to do that. And by the time they undeploy, they're probably going to start dying. One of them has died. The other one is going to go down very shortly because of the amount of artillery firing on it. SE2 is still trying some sneaky tactics. He's got some more units coming in this way. He decides not to go for it because there's just some units defending it already. And he's still trying to get the territories up here, but he hasn't got any flag commands on, so they're not going to capture any territories just yet. So he's obviously just trying to scout around and have a look at what's going on. And I feel like at this point of the game, it is whoever gets their eco up and running faster than the other person. We've got 440 from Zloygiz because he's now focused on trying to take out this enemy group over here. And he hasn't really been capturing that many territories. Whereas SE2 has captured some territories up here still, and he's still going down here to capture more. And he's on 524, so SE2 is actually increasing his economy pretty nicely. Even though he's losing a few of the battles at first, he is still retreating and then able to defend from them. And those units over here are on the run, but he's even got more units coming in to take some extra territories. So he switched in to normal territory grabbing now. So it's going to have to force Zloygiz to chase him once again. Over here, it looks like Zloygiz has given up the chase. He's going to let those guys run away while he captures the territory going down this way as well. But that does give SE2 the ability to go down all the way down here if he wanted to and start building up some territories and setting up some barracks for himself. But the problem Zloygiz is having is that he really needs this eco to fix itself right now because he's out of cash and he has very little production right now. And when there seems to be constant battles all over the place, he's going to need to try and change that very quickly. Because SE2 is actually experiencing the same thing, but is a little bit ahead in economy. So if they're on the same boat there, that only means that SE2 has more production than it. There you go, splitting off down to 2 routes now. He's going to take this land as well. And he's going to be able to claim all of that, and it's already set up for him. Up here, it looks like the artillery there is going to be taken out from the forest, from the stealth units coming through here. And has managed to take out that artillery, and there's a big group of units here that he can't see. We can't see it either right now. He has figured it out though, and he's expecting some units to be there, so he's going to send his units this way. And the artillery from SE2 are building up in numbers, but there are fortifications been built here for these guys. So it might be wise for them to try and go round the sides and attack them this way, rather than just head on. But that will take some more time, to be fair. There you go, as Zloygiz gets closer with this force here, their cumulative vision is allowing, well, is revealing their stealth there. And SE2 does have the group of units there. He's going to rush straight into here. He spotted the barracks and he's going to go down that way and trying to head for those instead. And I think they're relatively undefended. They'll probably be able to protect themselves. There's a few units there that will slow them down. Zloygiz is curving up here and he's going to try and sweep this area. He's got a line of units going through all of these territories right now. And he still has this front line here, which has taken a lot of artillery down, just because they're fortified and have extra defense. And he's slowly sorting out his economy right now. And SE2 is definitely ahead in the economy, but not by too much. The expanse is going well from SE2. And SE2 also does have these units here, which I almost forgot about. And they're going to come down here. I'm assuming they're going to come to attack the back of the base. Zloygiz is just following them with a defensive line. Or circles, if you like. And, oh yeah, I want to check Zloygiz expands. So Zloygiz is trying to expand down here. It looks like the units over here have started to be capturing territories there from SE2. So Zloygiz is slowly chasing them down. And I think because Zloygiz has more units there, he's going to capture it faster. But there are only 2 units capturing here. And I think that is to just see how far Zloygiz is progressing there, so he can understand how much time he's got to build up this area for himself. It looks like SE2 has managed to defeat the fortifications here and is definitely going on the offensive straight towards Zloygiz space. He's retreating on this side. However, he's going to have to deal with the units that are coming in through the forest up in the north, because that's quite a lot of artillery and not that much defense. At this point, it looks like it's going to be a base trade, so as SE2 is destroying Zloygiz base, Zloygiz is going to be destroying SE2's base if neither one can defend from these attacks. But it looks like SE2 is going back to capturing the territory here, and because it's on an orange command, they are going to be trying to attack the enemy that come towards them. Anything that comes into their range will start attacking. There you go, he's captured the territory, so he's now back on the move. He's literally just trying to disrupt Zloygiz's economy and distract his units at the same time. I think it's been fairly successful. And as these infantry rush these artillery, more artillery keep getting deployed as they come into range. And they are pretty much just supporting each other, and the infantry are going to be able to take them down a bit easier like this. But the artillery are grouping up at this section here to take out as many as they can, and I think they're going to be able to do a lot of damage there, but this attack isn't going to last much longer, and SE2 really needs to focus on the defense here now, which is going to take the reinforcements away from this location. Does he have anything else going on? He's just still carrying on expanding. There we go, a lot of these infantry are nearly dead, but it has saved the artillery here from the attacks of these artillery, as they have to focus on the closest unit there. They don't take as much damage. Over here, SE2 has successfully escaped, I think. And down in this section, the area that he captured earlier has already been taken over, and there's a barracks here that he's invested in. And I think Zloygiz is going to be able to take that out pretty easily. I don't remember what units he has in this area. He does have quite a few units. It's going to be hard for SE2 to take them out. But if he does, he'll have secured himself a foothold on the other side of the map. But unfortunately for SE2, Zloygiz is in the base, and he is starting to attack the structures, or very soon will be. And he's using the infantry one at a time. Although I don't normally say this is a good idea, it might be great to slow down the artillery here. Instead, they're going to go into the forest now to try and come in and get the reinforcements as they come through one at a time instead, which is probably a good idea to do as well. And even if not, you can send them in through this way. As they're in the line, it will be easier to take them out, but there is quite a few artillery in the mountains here that are firing down on this. But I think SE2 has that, because Zloygiz doesn't even know they're there. So he doesn't know why he's lost this fight, really. It looked all good at first, but the mountains have stouthed SE2's units. However, SE2 does have another problem. He is going to face another attack right in the centre here, and these units won't be able to fire from that. They're going to have to come down this way and defend this location. But now Zloygiz is not being attacked, he is free to send as many units as he wants in this direction, and SE2 does not really have a lot to defend there with. He is going to have to bring these artillery down and use them as creatively as possible at this point. But otherwise, he is making a nice expanse on that map, so he might be able to build some more structures to come back with. Got 840 eco every minute, whereas Zloygiz has 700 a minute, so even less eco. I think Zloygiz's army is doing a pretty good job here at holding back SE2. They're even pushing back against SE2. Would like to see what's going on down here, though. I think we've missed the fight here. Yeah, we don't have much left here from SE2. He's trying to find a little way he can just hold on to something down here. But Zloygiz is not letting him do that. So SE2 is going to have another attempt at it, and he's going to try and take out some territories over here. He even has a barracks up here with commandos that can keep harassing the enemy if he's able to hold back this attack. Even right now, it looks like SE2 is outnumbered, but he does have reinforcements still coming in. But thinking about it, on the other hand, so does Zloygiz. He has a lot of reinforcements coming in this area, and they might be able to outpace the amount that are being destroyed. So I think that Zloygiz will eventually take control over this area. But the reinforcements are also coming in from the south from SE2. Maybe not coming in from the south, but he has these structures down here which are going into a different direction. Try and take out these reinforcements from another path. And I think that is generally one of the better ways to try and take out one of these large armies. Hold off where the large location is, and instead of trying to focus your attacks here, just send in some units that will happily take out those reinforcing units. But it doesn't look good for SE2 right now. He's got these units right in the forest here, and they're being attacked by multiple units here at the same time, and there is not enough of them to hold off this attack. But he is building some barracks to increase his expanse, and even if he does lose this whole area, let's say, all of these units are costing money to produce, and even the structures are costing money for upkeep. So if Zloygiz was able to take over all of this area, then SE2's eco would boom, and he'd be able to build, because this map's quite large, and he does have control over a lot of it. He'd be able to build almost anywhere, and still present a good resistance to him later on. Unfortunately for Zloygiz though, we got reinforcements coming in this way instead now. They're going to plow through these units that cut off those reinforcements. And they're probably going to end up just carrying on going forward this way and come back up through the top, or they're just going to take out the structures over here instead. But nonetheless, SE2 was outnumbered in this scenario and has been for the majority of the time, but is still doing a very good job at holding back Zloygiz and keeping up his production over here. Even though Zloygiz reinforcements are large in numbers, SE2 is somehow finding a way to hold him back. I don't know how long it will last for though. He might be able to push back, but I'm not sure. Right, so these units over here are going to get caught out. There's some of SE2's units in these mountains that we can't see, and Zloygiz knows this. He's sending some units through there. And he still has these units down here trying to capture some territory down there, and Zloygiz is going straight for those guys. He's going to miss this territory until he comes back, I think. And Zloygiz decreasing his production. He's going to try and get some barracks going again. As these commandos are on the move, some went this way to capture the territory. I don't know where they're going to go next. But they could quite easily take out this barracks, I think, before it even starts producing anything. And Zloygiz is probably going to find out about the barracks up here very soon, even if it's by mistake. Don't think he's suspicious of anything going on there yet. I think he's just trying to capture the territories. Over here, this main army that was the original attacking force has subsided now. Without the reinforcements, SE2 is going to be able to keep his production in the north there, which may allow him to come back in a bit and take out this line of units. And Zloygiz has noticed that his units have gone here. He's going to try and change it up and make these units go up through here and avoid this main attacking force. Main defense force, should I say. So it's just trying to go around the units and get into there as fast as possible. And if that's the case, you want to destroy the structures rather than anything else, and you probably want to put these on arrow commands rather than the flag command, so they don't capture the territory. But in this situation, I'd definitely recommend capturing the territory. You've got a lot of reinforcements coming in, and capturing these territories will allow your units to catch up. building a bigger force for when you need it. Alright, so Zloygiz can see a commando coming in here, and he's going to highly prioritize that because those commandos can really be good harassments. And you don't want to be harassed in this game. I think SE2 gave away his position by accident here. He sent them over here with a blue command, and as they reach the end, they instantly start capturing the territory. Now he sent them away with another blue command. They're not capturing the territories anymore, but that gave it away for just that short amount of time. However, it looks like SE2 was lucky enough to just about get away there. I would just like to see what's going on over here, and I am glad I checked. I was looking out for that single units over here, but they're on a blue command, so they're not actually going to capture anything. They're just going to check how long Zloygiz is going to take to get there. But SE2's been a bit busy. He's got a plan up in mind. He's got a helipad, an airfield over there to send in some helicopters, help out over here. He doesn't have any energy wells yet, but I assume he must be building some somewhere. I would assume probably the safest location would be over here somewhere, but I can't see any being built. And those helicopters would be really helpful because Zloygiz doesn't have any anti-air right now. It seems like Zloygiz is a player that likes to wait to see the air units before he starts building any anti-air. Because I've seen him do that a few times now. I'm starting to learn all these players. My master plan to conquer the world of Line War by watching everyone play. Unfortunately for SE2, he sent most of his units straight through this path, which is getting caught between two different fronts of enemies. And they're getting taken out pretty quickly, which is leaving SE2's front line exposed here. And these artillery have now reached the factories there. And I think that SE2 hasn't spotted this, otherwise he probably would have changed these lines up. So his focus must be elsewhere. He must be looking at something else. He's trying to increase his eco through some towns now. Feels like he's captured most of the territories and he's soon to need that. He's got a transport jet, so he's going to have some commando stuff going on. And we got the commandos moving in now. So I assume they're going to be trying to come in and grab the territories over here. I think SE2's plan is to slow down Zloygiz up here as much as he can, while he tries to harass the economy of Zloygiz, so that SE2 can overpower him later on. So he's got 1,100 in eco, and Zloygiz has nearly 900, so he's not too far behind, but he's definitely falling behind, mostly to the attacks up here. And I would like to check how far Zloygiz is on the section down here. He didn't capture this end one, I don't think. Or did he? Did SE2 survive that? Because I remember seeing the units there earlier. No, he did take them out. Okay. It must have been longer than I thought. Either way, Zloygiz is now on the front lines here, taking out SE2's base. Which is unfortunate for him, because he defended that really well at first. But unfortunately, the production of Zloygiz being focused all here has been too much and it's overwhelmed SE2. And with these structures going down, it's going to be even harder in the long run to take out Zloygiz's army. But as these territories get filled up, the focus isn't going away from the fight. When these get taken out, or the territories get taken, he's going to start sending his forces back up this way. Having the airfield here, he's going to have 2 commandos, 3 commando jets soon. So he's definitely going to be trying to focus on a lot of harassment very soon. I just don't think SE2 is going to last much longer up here, which is unfortunate for him because he did defend it really well. But Zloygiz is doing a very good job at trying to take out everything he sees in this area. He does have a town being built as well. He's realizing he's coming to the end of his territory claiming. And there is even more territories here, and he could go into the water as well. And I think Zloygiz has the advantage in the long run too, because not only does he have this territory that's going on up here, but he also has 3 potential cities. One around here, there, and here. And they've got docks attached to them as well. I've just spotted some units going through there. So SE2 is up to something right now. Oh, he's got transports through the Navy as well, but he still doesn't have any energy. SE2 is going to run out of energy pretty soon. He's got these jets as well as the boats. But he is filling up all these units over here. And I think that's not a bad idea because he's got this other section down here with all these units. And they could just end up going across the water as well. And he could end up switching his focus. As you can see, what I was on about earlier, when all these structures go down from SE2, he's going to have an economy boom. You can see it's at 400 or nearly 500 per minute after all the costs. Although his capital isn't actually increasing, his capital income, he doesn't have much upkeep or production costs to go through, so he's allowed to, or being allowed to adapt and change his strategy. But he is about to run out of energy, so he's going to need an energy well. He's got one being built now, I can see it there. Don't think that was being built earlier, it's now being built, it's nearly done. And all of these units are coming through here. Zloygiz, I don't think he's noticed this yet. Some of his units were there, but I think they have been killed without him knowing. And that is quite a large unit. Come this way and catch you by surprise, but Zloygiz has the same idea. He's building a navy yard and getting some boats to come out and plus put these units across the water, which is directly where the the airfield is as well. And these units are going to come out and spot this potentially, and if he does, he's going to be able to send the helicopter over as soon as this is built. We can hear an energy warning, so this is very well timed, just as it comes to the end. The energy well is produced. I think it's got one somewhere else, actually, because that one's not produced yet. Or constructed, should I say. There you go, there's the one that's constructed. And at this point, SE2 only has one structure down here, and he has 500 coming in per minute. But in total, 1,200 per minute coming in, so that's freed up a lot for him to use it on. Just whether he can adapt in time to what the enemy's doing. I don't think he's managed to spot the commandos that are over here. These boats miss it, only just though. However, Zloygiz can see those boats instead. Which is unfortunate because that means SE2 could have been spotted here, but that is a lot of commandos that are going to go through this way. Now that he's got the production, he might want to put this on haste mode so they just get in there really quick. Unfortunately though, he doesn't have too much going on there. It looks like he's building loads, I can hear it. But where is he building them? Down here, that's not a bad idea. If it's too close, they won't construct in time for them to be useful. But if it's too far away, then you get a bit of defense there, because it gives you some more time to get there. There we go, so we've got a lot of commandos coming in. Zloygiz has spotted this, he's going to send his own force that way as well to defend it. I think SE2 has more commandos to get there. Got quite a lot of commandos here to get through this area, but Zloygiz doesn't have to travel and land there, so he can outnumber them at each battle. So it's just hopefully he can keep up with that attack for him. And Zloygiz is nearly captured all of the territory over here, and then will eventually start to move out down here, which he already has started. But he's going to try and build up his numbers by the looks of it before he decides what to do there. Now we did see a lot of units coming this way, and I think Zloygiz hasn't spotted this yet still. Might have just spotted it, and he's got these units coming through this way to get those units. But what is SE2 doing over there? So he's pretty much just trying to expand again. To try and take over all these territories. He's just going to see what he can find. And he's still got these units coming in now. So as these units have finished expanding here, the boats have changed sides. Well, the one boat is going to take over all these units straight to that town, and is going to take out that town pretty quickly. All these factories will be building artillery, I think. And they are going to be trying to take out the units over here. I have noticed that SE2 went for two different types of transport. So he's got the boats coming in to bring them through this way. But he's also got these jets. And I don't feel like that was necessary. He's got too many jets here. And boats that can transport these units across. Probably should go for one or the other. I think he should have kept the helicopter production here. Which he's definitely switched back into. It might have just been he forgot about it. And probably just kept one or two jets to drop in some units. Anyway, those boats have finished their job. He could send these boats over here to help this lot transport, but it won't take too long anyway. And some of these units have been destroyed by these artillery down here. But they are taking out some territory of Zloygiz, which is going to disrupt his eco a little bit, especially if SE2 can gain a foothold down there. Which would be unfortunate for Zloygiz, considering how much he chased the enemy to stop him from doing that there. Doesn't look like Zloygiz is too worried about what's going on there, though. He does know about it. He's building defences here, and he's built some structures, but he can't really adapt to it that much, because he's already got a lot of production set up already. He definitely seems to be concerned about what's going on down here, but he has a large enough force. You need to adapt. You might want to just select everything here and turn off production just for a bit, so you can build up your eco and then adapt over here as well, set up some structures, or simply just divert what you've got here. I suggest turning off production if you want to try and switch into aircraft or navy fleets and stuff like that. But if it's just another ground location that you can reach, just send them that way instead. That's how I'd recommend for that. And that is quite a large army for SE2 to have to deal with right now. You're probably going to need a rocket to deal with something like that, and he could afford one. He might even have one somewhere, I just haven't spotted, so... But that's definitely one of the good things about being destroyed. You can afford a rocket usually if it's been that long, and he could have placed one earlier, and this would have helped take out this massive army that Zloygiz built up. Helicopter's going for the navy yard over here now, and it's nearly managed to take it out. But those commandos are going to try and get across the water, but the boats are being destroyed by the helicopter, so he switched into missile ships. Over here, it looks like Zloygiz is still trying to find these units and kill them before they become too much of a problem here. And Zloygiz's main army is way out of position to deal with the units over there, so if they build up in numbers, they could just sweep up through here and take out the structures. The only problem is SE2's reinforcements are going to come in through this way. So if some of these units stray off down here, they're going to get some of these places quite easily with very little resistance. And it looks like that's what they're doing. Some of them are moving off that way, so let's have a look at what Zloygiz is doing. Yeah, he is planning to go that way. He's sending off a good group of units that way. And he still has a large amount of reinforcements moving in that way, but unfortunately for Zloygiz, the harassment tactics going on down this way have caused him a bit of eco issues. He can no longer adapt to anything right now because he hasn't got the cash to do it, and it's going to slow down his production. You can see some of the structures have turned off, and they will build once they get enough money to start producing units, which will give SE2 the advantage when it comes to reinforcements. He still has a lot of eco to come in and spend when it comes to production. And again, we've got a lot of commandos here. If you found the the fortifications over here, you might be able to drop in the commandos behind to take them out. But it looks like he's got rid of them anyway. But he could still drop them on the factories and barracks to help stop that attack. However, over here, this artillery is forming a literal wall across these mountains and pushing back SE2. I wonder if Zloygiz is... SE2 is doing anything about the units that strayed away. Doesn't look like it. He could do, though. He could set up some other airfields to build helicopters or something, even if it's down here. Take them out while they're coming through this area. Fortunately, it doesn't look like SE2 has enough units to defeat Zloygiz at this point. But he does have a fair amount of reinforcements coming in at all times, so they are going to be slowed down quite a lot. You might be able to just beat them through production because Zloygiz is having issues with his capital right now. And in other places, it does seem that SE2 is winning because these units that were here have given up. They have been defeated by SE2, and he is going to control this area completely soon. Yeah, he did bring those boats down as well, I think. That or... No, he didn't. They're being destroyed. He built more boats for this, so he can send more units over faster. And he's even come over and claimed this tiny island over here, but that is actually quite a lot of eco when it comes to territory claiming. Over here, Zloygiz is making progress. He's destroyed the factory there. The town is probably going to be up next. And it looks like SE2 is slowing him down, just not enough at this point. As these units are coming through this side, they are taking away eco now from SE2. So we'll have a look at the eco gains now. So total capital is 1,100, whereas SE2's total capital is still 1,400. So not only is he ahead with the amount that he can use, he is ahead in the amount that he actually has. So SE2 has the eco advantage at this point in the game still, but just can't quite use it quick enough before Zloygiz becomes too much of a problem. He's trying to correct it with the new ground that he's recently taken over. He's got the industries being constructed right now. And he's still claiming some territories down here, and he's taken this away from Zloygiz, so... But then again, so is Zloygiz taking it away from him in this area. It looks like this army is being thinned out a bit, so... It is still being reinforced quite heavily though, despite the production issues. It looks like Zloygiz has fixed that. But he's manually turned off these things as well, so... He's fixed his eco manually. It isn't just random now, he knows what's going on. And he's in control over it. There is a cruiser little battle going on. This was the main navy battle going on today. And it is 2 destroyers versus a cruiser. And they've taken out 1 destroyer, and that will reduce their attack power by quite a lot. He's just managed to win that fight against those 2 destroyers with 1 cruiser. But his cruiser is quite badly damaged, so he might still get through eventually with the other ships. Especially as there's no other ship there, but the town's just gone down for SE2. And Zloygiz is starting to find his energy and his barracks in this area. And it looks like the commandos are stopping him from taking the territory, so they're just advancing further. Actually, the strike commands, I didn't see those. So the strike commands are avoiding these lines. They're taking priority, so all the units are attached to this command here instead of these lines. That's why they're not capturing the territory there. But as soon as these structures get destroyed, they're going to be back on these lines and will start capturing territory as they move forward. So, SE2 is now sending in some commandos directly through this area, right on top of this, but unfortunately, Zloygiz has seen this before and he's going to put some SAM units right on the edge there, and he's taken out 2 of those jets. He only managed to get 2 commandos down, he's lost 3 of the jets now. But there are some commandos up here as well, so he dropped some off over here by the looks of it. And he's got the units spreading out a bit more around the area. The artillery over here is getting dangerously close to this area, and it looks like SE2 is building up the numbers before he decides to do anything with them. Going to allow them to build up their forces to fight back a lot better. But unfortunately, there's just so many units here. I don't know if he's going to be able to build up the production quick enough. And Zloygiz is sorting out his eco a bit, but he's not in the negatives. And I think he's going on the attack now. This is pretty much going to be his last stand at this game. But I do want to quickly have a look over here at what's going on. So he started to try and build a city, so he's planning for a later game, and I don't think it's going to be much longer for this game. He is trying to defeat this area, so he's got an advantage somewhere. But Zloygiz is stopping that attack from going through slowly but surely. I do think SE2 will break him there. Up in the main base, it looks safe from those commando attacks, but SE2 is still trying to push through over here. And being behind that energy well is actually giving SE2 some defensive cover as they have to shoot the building to get through. I want to look at SE2's line commands here. He's literally just plowing through. He's setting them up so they just go straight forward and and try to confront them evenly, so that way they're not firing two at a time against himself, if you know what I mean. So the two artillery firing against one, it looks like it's going to be fairly even, but they are going to just keep on filling in those gaps again. So I think Zloygiz is going to take over this area. Over in this section though, we do have a lot of artillery moving towards these helicopters, but the helicopters just can't move because all the energy wells have been destroyed, so they can't even defend themselves right now. He could potentially bring these cruisers in over here to try and help take out some units that come across, if he was to get his energy back. But unfortunately, I just think SE2 is now out. He doesn't have many options. But this is pretty much his last stand. And from Zloygiz's side over here, yeah, so he is being defeated there. So SE2 does have the advantage in this side, and he will be able to send these units up this way. But Zloygiz is aware of what's going to happen. He's sending a lot of units this way. Commandos and artillery and normal infantry are coming down. And over here it looks like the artillery are being thinned out too much, and it won't be long until Zloygiz takes over this section, or until the match ends. So, I hope you enjoyed that battle. Let me know what you thought, what any player could have done to improve on their game on that one. And there are 2 videos on screen right now, so if you want to watch any more, feel free to do so, and I'll see you in one of those videos. Thanks for watching.